Today, we're diving into 10 isekai and fantasy anime you absolutely shouldn't skip, from emotional chaos to world-building madness. If you think you've already seen everything, trust me, this list will shake your watch list awake. Kicking off with number 10, Heavenly Delusion, Tengoku Daimakyo. Heavenly Delusion feels like someone took a post-apocalyptic mystery, blended it with unsettling sci-fi, and sprinkled in enough psychological tension make you question your own sanity. The story follows two different worlds, one that looks peaceful and sterile like a high-tech daycare, and another that's basically Earth on hard mode, full of mutated nightmare creatures roaming around like they own the place. And somehow, both sides hide secrets messier than anime release schedules. What really pulls you in is the atmosphere. It's eerie without trying too hard, and the pacing keeps you suspicious of literally everyone. Every episode feels like you're uncovering a puzzle piece, only to realize it belongs to a completely different puzzle. The characters carry the show with their mix of courage, trauma, and why is everything trying to kill us today? If you love mysteries that don't spoon-feed answers and worlds that feel genuinely dangerous, this anime hits the spot. The tone is chilling, the animation is crisp, and the twists? Yeah, they don't play fair in the best way. This is Emiverse Anime. Watch this video to the end and hit that subscribe button now. Sliding to number 9, So I'm a Spider, So What? This one starts with your typical classroom gets isekai'd scenario, but plot twist. Our main girl respawns as a tiny spider with zero social standing, zero power, and zero chance of filing an isekai complaint form. But instead of crying about it, she goes full grind mode like a sweaty MMO player with 10 energy drinks in their system. Her inner monologues are chaotic, hilarious, and slightly concerning. Exactly the energy we love. Watching her evolve from fragile spider noodle to overpowered menace is peak entertainment. Meanwhile, the side story with her classmates plays out like a political fantasy drama that remembered it's supposed to be connected to the spider plot, occasionally. Yes, the CGI causes arguments in the anime community, but honestly, the charm of the protagonist carries everything. She solos half the monsters in the dungeon while roasting them with the confidence of someone who's finally leveled up intelligence. If you enjoy unexpected glow-ups and chaotic comedy, this one delivers non-stop. Landing on number 8, Goblin Slayer. Goblin Slayer starts with the subtlety of a brick to the face. This anime doesn't sugarcoat anything. Goblins are disgusting, cruel, and terrifying. And our helmet-wearing introverted anti-hero has dedicated his entire existence to deleting them from the planet. Forget grand adventures or quests to save the world. This man clocks in like a salary worker and treats goblin extermination like a 9-to-5. The dark tone might turn some viewers away, but the world building and tension make every dungeon crawl feel like a survival gamble. What's surprisingly refreshing is how grounded the combat is. Nobody is out here summoning a sun or breaking physics for fun. Everything is tactical, gritty, and painfully realistic. The supporting cast brings needed warmth and humor, balancing the show's heavier moments. And even though the series loves throwing viewers into high stress, it rewards you with satisfying payoffs. If you're into fantasy worlds that don't pretend to be friendly, Goblin Slayer earns its spot. Looking at number 7, Uncle from Another World. This anime is what happens when an isekai hero returns to real life and immediately discovers that nobody cares he once saved a fantasy world. Our uncle wakes up from a 17-year coma and casually reveals he spent the whole time dealing with demons, elves, and anime tropes. His nephew, being a normal human with bills, just wants to monetize that experience for YouTube. The comedy here is elite. Uncle's memories play out like parody gold, roasting every isekai cliché possible, especially the tsundere elf who is so aggressively in denial it deserves its own genre. And the way he uses magic in modern society? Pure chaos. Watching him cause problems without understanding how smartphones work is hilarious. Sliding over to number 6, Isekai Yakyoku, Parallel World Pharmacy. If the medical system stresses you out, imagine being reincarnated into a world where hygiene standards are so low they'd make a doctor faint. Thankfully, our protagonist becomes a genius pharmacy prodigy with magic over every element related to medicine. And honestly, he carries this world on his back harder than any hero with a sword. What makes this series fun is how it blends fantasy with surprisingly accurate medical explanations, but keeps everything entertaining. Watching him diagnose medieval diseases like he's speedrunning medical school is oddly satisfying. And the reactions from the nobles? Priceless. They treat every discovery like he's inventing miracles on demand. It's wholesome, smart, and refreshing. An isekai where the danger isn't a demon lord but infections and misinformation. Think of it as the fantasy version of a doctor show, but with fewer dramatic stares and more magical antibiotics. If you want an isekai that feels genuinely educational without being boring, this one hits nicely. Drifting into number 5, The Faraway Paladin. This anime starts quietly, slowly, and emotionally, like a fantasy novel that's more interested in your feelings than your adrenaline. Will, our protagonist, is raised by 3 undead guardians who teach him everything: fighting, magic, faith, and the emotional stability he definitely didn't have in his past life. The family dynamic alone is enough to make your heart melt. The show mixes adventure with introspection, exploring themes of purpose and growth rather than constant combat. But don't let the slower pacing fool you. Once the battles hit, they hit with weight. Nothing feels cheap or rushed. You can tell the story wants you to care about every decision Will makes, and it works. Dropping into number 4, Made in Abyss. You see the art style and think, cute adventure anime. Then, 3 episodes later, you're emotionally damaged and wondering why the Abyss hates happiness. This show is the definition of deceptively adorable. It looks soft, but the storytelling punches like a truck full of emotional trauma. Rico and Reg's journey deeper into the Abyss becomes a mix of breathtaking exploration and nightmare fuel. The world building is so good it feels alive. Every layer introduces new creatures, rules, and dangers that make you question why anyone thought this adventure was a good idea. The sense of mystery pulls you in, but the danger keeps your stomach tight the whole time. Rolling into number 3, Overlord. Here comes the power fantasy that refuses to be subtle. Ain Zawal Gown is basically a walking apocalypse with a skeleton motif and zero intention of pretending he's the hero. He's overpowered, dramatic, strategic, and surrounded by loyal followers who worship him like he's the final boss of reality. And honestly, he kind of is. The fun part is watching him overthink everything. NPCs assume he's a mastermind, while he's just trying to avoid embarrassment. Meanwhile, his minions commit war crimes in his name with unsettling enthusiasm. The world balance? Never heard of it. Cruising into number 2, Frieren Beyond Journey's End. This anime said, forget saving the world. What happens after? Frieren, an elf mage who barely ages, watches her human friends grow old and pass away. The emotional weight hits immediately. Instead of an epic quest, this story is about grief, memory, time, and rediscovering what companionship means. The pacing is calm and thoughtful, like a warm cup of tea after a stressful week. It's fantasy, but not loud fantasy. It's reflective, gentle, and quietly powerful. Frieren's journey with her new companions becomes a beautiful exploration of legacy, how the smallest moments matter more than the flashy victories. And finally, number 1, The Dungeon of Black Company. This one is chaotic in the funniest way possible. Our protagonist, Kinji, isn't some noble hero. He's a lazy, self-interested schemer who gets isekai'd into a brutal fantasy mining company where capitalism is the final boss. And no, he does not adapt gracefully. Watching him try to outsmart corporate exploitation while avoiding doing actual hard labor is peak comedy. His plans are so ridiculous they loop back around to being brilliant. The show roasts work culture, fantasy tropes, greed, and basically every character who takes anything too seriously. That wraps up our list of isekai and fantasy anime you definitely shouldn't miss. Whether you love emotional journeys, chaotic comedy, or dark world building, there's something here for every fan. Drop your favorite from the list in the comments, hit like if you had fun, and subscribe for more anime breakdowns every week.